And I'd like to reveal to you our guest for today, who is Lynne Goldberg. So Lynne, thank you so much for being here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, no, it's great to see you.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, so Lynne, I mean, for our audience who may already be using your app, they may already be learning from you, and some of them may not be. So you've founded this phenomenal app, right? And it's called, Oh My God, I Can Meditate. And I love that because it is that feeling, right? That moment when you feel, oh my God, I can actually do this. And you lead these guided meditations. You've had phenomenal reviews across the app stores. I've read through them, and there's just thousands of people just saying how much you've helped them.
Thank you.
And if for those of our audience that don't know you, I'd love for you to just introduce yourself.
So I got started with meditation, and I was not a natural. So as you were just talking about, people who are trying to get started having a bit of difficulty, I relate. Because for me, starting my meditation practice was, I was an emergency meditator for lots of years. I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I would be like, okay, I've got to calm myself down. And I didn't have a steady, regular practice. And of course, when I started to develop that practice is when I started to really notice the real changes. And then there was all the rules and regulations around meditating, right? So for me, I felt like I wasn't good at it. Right? I was having thoughts, and of course that must make me a bad meditator. And so what we've tried to do is normalize it, make this something that is really accessible, and you can tell by the name, and take away all of the shoulds and just help people get that practice and that foundation started.
Amazing. And you talk about this quite openly. You talk about, in your own words, you say, stressed out, sleep-deprived businesswoman, and now a renowned meditation coach. And I love that journey because it just shows how relevant you feel meditation is to real life.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I had this, what I considered to be the perfect life. I was, a successful business person, and I had a fabulous husband, and I was pregnant with 2 beautiful twin girls, and, I had the perfect family. And I really felt like, I had it all. I had this sense of this, look at me, puffed up sense of, okay, all this stuff is important. And then I lost everything. My mom died. I lost the twins. My marriage fell apart. I lost my job. And I was stuck with this idea of like, oh, well now who am I really? If all this, the stuff that I identified with so strongly is gone, what makes me me? And that's where meditation really came in. It was that sense of taking myself out of that poor me, look at what happened to me, and starting to understand that there was so much more than just that. And that was what changed my life.
That's unbelievable. I read about that before you were coming on today, and I read that and I just thought, wow, that's extreme. Like that's not just, oh, I don't like my job, I want to change my job. It's not like, oh, I'm not getting along with my partner. That's extreme. How were you able in that situation before even being a meditator? I don't know if you were meditating at that time. How were you able to just kind of have that switch? Because I think a lot of the viewers have their own struggles. Some people have extreme struggles. Some people have less extreme. But when we go through them, everything feels extreme.
Right, right.
So how did you in that instance turn to something positive and turn yourself to meditation as opposed to feel bad for yourself, like you were saying?
Well, I'd love to say that it was just like that. I had no self-pity, and I did everything positively, but that wasn't the case at all. I mean, I write in my bio copious amounts of white wine, and Chardonnay was definitely my go-to. So I didn't have it all together, and I did know that when I did meditate, it made me feel better. But like so many of the things that we know are good for us, like we know exercising is good for us too, but we don't tend to do it.
Yeah.
So I just recognized that when I would drink and sort of not, to escape everything, it was kind of like pushing a beach ball underwater. The more you push it away, the more it pops up in your face. And I couldn't escape what was happening. And when you sit with it, as painful as it is, it just made me feel so much better.